Greetings, everyone. So I'm just going to do a short video tonight on Mary Sue Hubbard. Very short. That was L. Ron Hubbard's, I believe, second wife, I think. In August 1978, she was indicted by the United States government, Fall Girl, on charges of conspiracy relating to illegal covert operations mounted by the Guardian's office against government agencies. She was convicted in December 1979 and was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment and the payment of a $10,000 fine. So essentially, Lafayette, Ron Hubbard, the fake fraudster, allowed his wife to go to prison for him. And that's just the beginning. Hold on. So, Operation Snow White. This is on Wikipedia. Operation Snow White was a criminal conspiracy by the Church of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, the one who never had to pay for his crimes, during the 1970s, payoff, to purge unfavorable records about Scientology and its founder, Lafayette Ron Hubbard. This project included a series of infiltrations into and thefts from 136 government agencies, foreign embassies, and consulates, as well as private organizations critical of Scientology. Ooh, you can't criticize them. Carried out by church members, cult, in more than 30 countries. It was one of the largest infiltrations of the United States government in history, with up to 5,000 covert agents, so-called Scientologists, which several of them went to jail. A lot of them went to jail, but of course not Hubbard. This operation also exposed the Scientology plot, Operation Freakout. I don't know anything about that one, because Operation Snow White was the case that initiated the U.S. government's investigation of the cult. That is way too small. I'm going to put that back. Grand jury charges, introduction. United States of America, Mary Sue Hubbard, United States District Courts for the District of Columbia, 1979. What kind of man lets his wife go to prison for him? Under this program, Scientologists, committed infiltration, wiretapping, and theft of documents in government offices, most notably those of the U.S. Internal Revenue Service. 11 highly placed church executives, Scientologists, including Mary Sue Hubbard, the third wife of founder Lafayette Ron Hubbard, the guru, and second in command of the organization, pleaded guilty and were convicted in federal court of obstructing justice, burglary of government offices, and theft of documents and government property. The case was United States versus Mary Sue Hubbard et al. Got a lot of thoughts about this. There's definite links to L. Ron Hubbard and, what is his name? Parker, like a famous occultist, as well as Aleister Crowley, who Aleister Crowley couldn't stand him. And Hubbard was really into some of those black magic rituals, to include some children. I'm not going to read the whole thing here. As early as 1960, L. Ron Hubbard had proposed that Scientologists should infiltrate government departments by taking secretarial, bodyguard, or other jobs. In the early 1970s, the Church of Scientology was increasingly scrutinized by U.S. federal agencies, having already been raided by the Food and Drug Administration in 1963. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, claimed the cult owed millions of dollars in taxes, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation sent agents into the organization. The cult's response involved a publicity campaign, extensive litigation against the IRS, and a program of infiltration of agency offices. The specific branch of Scientology responsible for Operation Snow White was the Guardian's Office, created in 1966 by Lafayette Ron Hubbard. The purpose of the Guardian's Office was to protect the interests of Scientology cult at the time of Operation Snow White. The Guardian's Office had its worldwide headquarters, Guardian's Office, very occultic name, just saying, located at St. Hill Manor in England, headquarters. In the United States, Guardian's Office were in Los Angeles, California. Though smaller offices existed in Washington, D.C., Guardian's Office, D.C., and other cities throughout the United States, each Guardian office consisted of 5 bureaus. One such bureau was the Information Bureau, which oversaw the infiltration of the government. L. Ron Hubbard oversaw the Guardian's Office, though it was Mary Sue Hubbard, his wife, who held the title Commodore Staff Guardian. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole thing here, guys, but really check into this, because the crimes against humanity, the crimes against children, especially the crimes against vulnerable people, the crimes against elderly, people being held against their will, people working 18 to 19-hour days with no pay, indentured servitude, and then also they use all the information that they collect from auditing, that they pay for, that the Scientologist pays for, of course, is used against them to blackmail them, which is called ruin, to find their ruin. And they blackmail people to stay in the organization. Anyone that decides to leave or escapes, basically, is fair gamed, which the fair game tactics are really losing steam, which is beautiful. And also, what I was going to say, another thing that is quite awful, and then this was supposed to be just about Mary Sue Hubbard, but I'm going to go here in a minute. But I just wanted to say that they are infamous and notorious for breaking families apart, and it's all about divide and conquer. It actually does stem from black magic rituals about dividing and conquering. And anyways, Mary Sue Hubbard, in the end, served 10 years prison sentence for her frickin' fake fraudster, pathetic, disgusting, fake military, fake veteran piece of garbage. And also, he left her destitute in the end and didn't pay child support or anything. And we'll get more into that one day. Peace.